Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am honored to have a conversation with entrepreneur, philanthropist, and the man behind the careers of some of the biggest names in music, Scooter Braun. I am so excited to talk with you. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Well, I'm very, very excited to talk with you, and I'm honored to be on your show. So thanks for having me.
So let's get started. So, who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
I think that would be obviously my parents and now my children. And even I could even say because we parent together, my ex-wife, we're very close, and she's had a big impact on me too. Um, but I think it's that immediate family, and there's just so many people that make an impact. Sometimes it's like an Uber driver who gives you a piece of advice, or it's a piece of literature that you're reading that really changes you. But definitely, my parents shaped me, my grandparents, and then becoming a father changed me forever.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Well, it's going to sound very cliche, but I'm going right back to the kids. I just before I came here to do this with you, I was downstairs with my kids, and my daughter gave me a little cuddle, and that gave me a lot of joy. I get joy of seeing some of the young people that I work with having the first experience of success. I get a lot of joy in seeing people that I worked with over the years continue on to have success. Wicked comes out tomorrow. I can see Ari in the background over there,
Yes.
and to see her have this moment and share it with the whole world, I'm beyond excited for her because I know how hard she works for it and how she was really born for it. So that's giving me joy. So yeah, things like that. Just I think it's sounds cliche, but really the joy of my children and the people I love in my life is what fills me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. I am so excited to see Wicked. I can't wait.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love everybody in it, so I'm so excited. I've been counting down the days.
Well, I'm excited for you to see it, and it's a labor of love by some of the most talented people in the world. So I think we're all going to be in for a treat.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what is the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
The biggest obstacle I overcame in my life um, was I built a story of what my life was going to be like. And I think when my marriage didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, and we split up and we had three kids, that was a big obstacle because it was like the narrative I built of what my life was going to be and how hard I worked. It changed. And then I realized that everything in life, even the obstacles, are gifts, and the hardships give you an opportunity to do the work on yourselves or do the work for others that make you the person that you are today. And the father that I've become by going through that, the friend I've become, the person that I'm growing to be every single day, I realized that hardship and that heartbreak and everything that I went through at that time um, really was the best possible thing that could have happened to me to make this version of me for the future and the people that are going to be in my life for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. So of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are the most proud of?
Um, Other than my kids, because they're the ones I'm the
Mhm.
most proud of, um, I am the most proud of the work that my career has allowed me to do to help others, whether it be, working with the kids from Parkland in March for Our Lives, whether it be, working with Bun B to do the hurricane relief of Hand in Hand, whether it be um, the work I did with Ariana and the team responding to the Manchester attacks, or the work I'm doing today with the Nova exhibit. Um, I work on the board of Make a Wish, and I get to help kids, with their wishes. And for me, being a part of those experiences have by far and away been the most important things I'll ever do with my life and the most rewarding.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Um,
Well, thank you. You're pretty incredible too. That's why I wanted to do this. They showed me what you've been doing all these years and how you started this. And the fact that you care so much and you put in the time and your guests are amazing and you're amazing. So I'm really excited to be a part of this.
Thank you so much. That means the world. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Um, so I am pop culture obsessed, if you can't tell by the wall. Um, and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Phew, I just finished the new Lord of the Rings show. So that was fun. Um, what show I just started to watch and I never had watched before was The Bear. And I'd never seen it before, and that was a really, really good show. And I just started watching it, so I'm excited about that. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's anything recently that I finished that I really did love. I mean, there's a bunch of, I'm kind of a content obsessed guy too.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess this weekend I'm obsessed with the idea of seeing Wicked and Gladiator 2. Those are the two movies that I'm so excited about this weekend. And my daughter and I were talking about Moana 2 that's coming in December.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. I
What
am.
about you? What about you? What show do you love right now?
Oh, I just finished watching the new show Cross on Amazon Prime,
Is it good? Should
and
I check it out?
yeah, it's really good. It's so creepy. So afterwards, I don't know. I was like, okay, that was so good, but I need something funny to watch after that. Um,
Well, you should watch. Just pick a new comedian that you love and watch a special, and you'll get some laughs.
yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, so that show is really good, and it also has one of my favorite actors in it, Ryan Eggold. And I was obsessed with his show New Amsterdam. And so after watching the first episode, I was like, he has nothing like I'm like, okay, this character is nothing like his character in New
So you know what?
Amsterdam.
That means you should stay obsessed with him because it means he's a great
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I'm terrified of him in this show.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm adding that to the list.
Okay, yeah. You'll have to let me know what you think.
I will.
Okay. Yeah. And I also I I just rewatch like all my favorite shows multiple times. And so I'm just right now I'm just constantly rewatching White Collar. Um, that's pretty much when I'm not like watching something new that I'm watching that all the
Well,
time.
there's the new Suits show. Suits LA is coming
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I am so excited for that.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
That is a great question. If I had a warning label, um, beware of excessive fun. I like to have a good time. I like to have fun. I like adventure. For my 42nd birthday, I decided I want to learn how to jump out of a plane, not tandem, just solo. So I went down and did tandem jumps and trained, and then I started doing solo jumps. Um, I like the idea of swimming with sharks. I like the idea of like skiing out of bounds. I like extreme kind of stuff sometimes. My friend, if you ever check out on YouTube, the Bucket List family, they have a YouTube and an Instagram. They're this amazing family that travels around the world doing adventures as a family. And the dad, Garrett, he brought me to Tonga. We became friends, and I got to swim with humpback whales. Um, and he actually saved me from getting attacked by a tiger shark, which was a crazy story because the tiger shark didn't mean to attack me; it just didn't know what I was. And
Mm,
luckily, I knew what to do. And Garrett, let me know in time.
yeah.
But yeah, I like to live full. So that would be the warning. Excessive fun, I hope.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Yeah. I yeah, I love to just like have fun and live life to the fullest. And I know there are certain things I would never ever do, like jump out of a plane. So I think that's impressive.
Also, it would probably say warning he has a sweet tooth because I
Oh,
love
yeah.
candy and chocolate.
Yeah.
So that's, we got to let people know if they come around me, I might be finding the chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, my best friend lives in Los Angeles, and when I go to visit, he and I have this tradition of going to the Grove, and we get
The candy
uh
store.
yes, we get pizza first, and then we go to the candy store and just fill up a big bag, and then walk around and
I like this
just
plan.
eat
I
it.
like this plan. If you need a third member on this trip, you guys let me know.
Yeah. Okay, we would love that.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, so, what motivates you even on days you aren't really feeling it?
Um, I think what motivates me is a couple of things. I think the idea that we're only here in this life, one trip around. Why waste a moment? Get up, like, someone out there is doing something, you have an opportunity to go live a full life, go do it. I think life's about the adventure, not about the destination. So every day you wake up, you have a chance, a new adventure, and that motivates me. And I think the other thing that motivates me is I've always said this, that failure and success do live next door to each other. So just when you think that you're not putting in enough, you just got to give yourself the opportunity to try, and you never realize how close you are to having that excitement and that successful moment and getting to go on another adventure.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a great question.
Yeah. And so what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Um, what are people surprised to learn about me? Uh, Sometimes people I'm not very tall. For my family, I'm actually pretty short. I'm 5'11". But sometimes people are surprised because they think I'm like 5'8", and they're surprised I'm 5'11". Um, Sometimes people are surprised. I think that because I worked in kind of the music world in Hollywood for such a long time, even though I started in Atlanta, but like I'm in that, world of celebrity and all the stuff that was part of my life for a long time. They assume that, you're not going to be a normal person or you're going to want the nicest things. And I think that, sometimes people have an expectation of what I'm going to be like. And I think I want to just show up as my authentic self every single time, and allow people to meet the person, meet Scott.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So what three words best describe you?
Well, I don't know what other people would say, um, but if I was just to do it myself, I would say uh, three L's: learning, loving, and living.
I love those.
Well, thank you. I think it's
Yeah.
important. I think I'm trying to learn all the time. I want to live life full, and you just got to live with more love.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any irrational fears?
I used to in a very big way. My family on my dad's side were Holocaust survivors. and my grandmother was in Auschwitz. My grandfather was in Dachau in the concentration camps, and we lost a tremendous amount of family. My grandmother, when she was 14 and she went to Auschwitz, she lost 23 members of her family in the first day, including her mother, her father, and her sister. And I think growing up with that trauma, I was really afraid that like no matter what I built or what I did, one day someone's going to come and just take it all away. And I wasn't living in the present. I was always building for a future and trying to protect myself and my family because I didn't know what was coming. And I think I've gotten to a place now where I realize you can't live in fear, and I want to be present for the people that I love, not always building a future and being away. And I think for a long time, I wasn't the most present person because of it. I was always in my phone. I was always working, and I think that was based on an irrational fear.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I yeah, I can yeah, I mean relate to just yeah, kind of trying to distract yourself from all that fear because I constantly
Well, what
do
are you
that
afraid
for
of?
myself. I have so much anxiety and just like world everything going on in the world, I'm just like I feel sometimes like my brain start to spiral, and so I just like try to focus all my attention on one thing. And
Well, you know
so
what? A teacher I worked with who really helped me, they said, if you just live in the present moment, is anything that you're thinking about that you're so afraid of actually happening right now? And 99.9% of the time, the answer is going to be no.
yeah.
So the person who I'm talking to seems great, seems like an amazing human being, seems like you're doing incredible things. It seems like you got a family that loves you and friends that love you, and you're a happy person. And I think that, next time you're feeling that anxiety, just take a deep breath and say, is any of this stuff happening right now? And 99.9% of the time, it's going to be no. And you're going to realize, Maya, right now, in this very moment, the only thing that exists, Maya's world is pretty great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I'm gonna remind myself of that often. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, like I said, I'm excited to be here. So I hope you can let the anxiety go and see what we all see.
Thank you. Um, so what are the songs that make you sing along whenever you hear them?
So you got to remember, Maya, I'm a little older than you. So the songs that make me sing along, definitely any song that like I was just, got to be associated with all the amazing artists I worked with over the years. I hear them, I get excited. Um, but the stuff like I'm 43 years old. So the stuff that gets me excited was more stuff that I grew up on. So if I hear like No Diggity, which is a song you probably don't know, or anything Usher early days, like, the Usher concerts right now, he's crushing it. And people my age, we're going and we're singing every single word. Um, but it's there's just certain songs that come in, and that's what the great thing about music. It brings you back to a time that only music can just instantly make you remember the smell, the day, the sunlight, what you were doing in that moment. And for me, the reason I said this song, No Diggity, even though I've heard it 100 times at parties, I just remember being a kid going to the basketball court in the winter and it was cold and I had my headphones, my sweatshirt. And for some reason, I just remember feeling really alive and listening to that song. And and then there's songs like if someone said, "What's the most random song that you sing along to?" Probably "Don't Let the Sun Go Down" by George Michael and Elton John live. That's the most random one I can tell you. Um, but then I love everything Motown, love classic rock. So it's the hardest question you've asked me is that one because I love singing along with so
Yeah.
tonight after my kids go to sleep, I'm having dinner with some friends, celebrating one of them. And I said, we're going to do Spotify DJing and we're just going to do a sing along at dinner all night.
Oh, I love that. That
It's my
sounds like
favorite
so,
thing.
yeah,
It's the
that
best.
sounds like so much fun.
It's the best. You play great music and you all sing and dance together. There's nothing better.
Yeah. I love that. So do you have a go-to comfort show or a movie that you watch when you just want to like turn off your brain?
Um, Not necessarily like when I was younger, they played Law and Order on TV every single day to the point where like I couldn't believe there were still episodes I haven't seen. Um, but there are just certain movies like, great old classics that if I just want to sit down and watch like an old movie, you can do the old comedies like there was one I watched the other day. We watched Wedding Crashers and we're laughing because I hadn't seen it in a long time. I watched When Harry Met Sally the other day. Hadn't seen it in a long time. It was great. You Got Mail. Um, there's just the great classics, and the other day, me and my kids, another one that was my generation, but they still love, we watched Home Alone and they loved it. So, I love the old classic films.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So do you or what show or movie do you find yourself quoting more often than you would like?
That I end up watching more often than I would like.
That you find yourself quoting.
Quoting Step Brothers. Step Brothers with Will Ferrell. Yeah, I probably quote that movie more than I should. It just, so much room for activities. It's a bunch of funny lines in there, and
Yeah.
there's a line in there where he says he has a samurai sword, and he says, "Is that signed by American Idol's own Randy Jackson?" And he's like, "Yes," and he's like blown away. And then he had a random samurai sword signed by Randy Jackson. And years ago, I moved to LA when I was 30, and the house I moved into, this guy had left a samurai sword, just left it there. And I was like, "Do you want this back?" And he's like, "No, it's fine." And it was like this random samurai sword. And I took it to Randy Jackson and had him sign it. So I have a samurai sword signed by Randy Jackson because I love Step Brothers so much.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's pretty. You know what's funny is when I asked Randy, I thought I'd be like the only person asking me. He goes, "I sign like 40 of these a year."
I love that.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Yeah, I think my brain is mostly just like filled with like quotes or scenes from different shows and movies just that I constantly reference that not
What's your go-to
everybody
though?
gets.
What's your go-to?
Um Friends and Will and Grace.
Great shows.
Yeah.
Great shows. And by the way, great people.
Yeah. Yeah, I those are two of my comfort
Have
shows.
you ever had a chance to interview any of the cast members from those shows?
Yeah, I've interviewed Eric McCormack from Will and Grace and Michael sorry, I always mess up his last name, but Angarano,
Mhm.
um who played Elliot. And then some people who have guest starred in both Friends and Will and Grace, but I haven't interviewed any of the main cast of Friends yet.
So should we work on that?
I would love that.
Okay. All right. I think we can work on that.
Oh, thank you. My goal has been to interview like the cast of Will and Grace and the cast of Friends for like as long as I've been doing interviews.
Really?
So, yeah.
That is, I mean, that's a really great goal. I can't believe like you've never all these years. We need to fix that.
Is there a song that you are currently obsessed with?
Um, there's a song I'm currently obsessed with. Whew. I think one of the best new artists out that I've seen, like I think Teddy Swims is amazing. I think Benson Boone is amazing. Um, yeah, I just there's some really great new artists. But I don't have a right now. I don't think I have a particular new song that I'm like obsessed with right now. I think I
Oh,
just like so many different records.
oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I love that. I'm yeah, I have just I there are certain people I just constantly have on repeat, and I love when new music comes out every Friday. I just go through it all.
Um, I'm gonna work. You put an idea in my head, and I'm like trying to work on something for you. I really have enjoyed this, so I want to work on something for you that you said to me.
Right. Thank you. Um, I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is by Maya Angelou, and it's music was my refuge. I could crawl into the space between the notes and curl my back to loneliness. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Do you mind if I pull it up and read it to you?
Oh, not at all.
Here, let me. One of my favorite. I have a bunch of favorite poems, but one of my favorite poems is Ithaca by Kafafi. And I'm going to read you the poem because my mentor gave it to me a long time ago. And I think it's really beautiful. As you set out for Ithaca, hope your road is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. Lithogonians, Cyclops, angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way. As long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as rare excitement stirs your body and your spirit. Lithogonian, Cyclops, wild Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them along inside your soul, unless your soul sets them up in front of you. Hope your road is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when, with what pleasure, what joy, you enter harbors you're seeing for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and go on learning from their scholars. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for. But don't hurry the journey at all. Better it lasts for hours. Better it lasts for years. So you're old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you've gained along the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you wouldn't have ever set out. She has nothing left to give you. If you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you. Wise as you've become, so full of experience, you will finally understand by then what these Ithacas mean. It's everything in life is truly, truly about the journey. And I think that that poem sums it up. You can set out for the island of Ithaca, but in the end, it's always about everything you experience on the way.
Yeah, I love that.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks for letting me share it.
of course. Yeah, I had never heard that before. So thank you for that quote before. So thank you for sharing it.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, well, that was my final question for you. It has been such an honor talking with you. I so appreciate your taking the time to join me today. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm truly, truly honored and I'm really appreciative for you having me. And you ask amazing questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, and so again, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.